The Word, AM 590 WEZE, Boston.
Everybody get exposed. Pray for all my foes, but it's the nail roll.
Yeah, a little backseat
These
there.
rappers gonna sell they soul.
An
I
echo.
don't care if they hate me. This the life
We're
I
here.
chose. Jay-Z mocking Christ with his new
Good morning,
movie. One day
everybody.
he gon' pay.
From
He won't catch me partying with
Azerbaijan
Diddy.
to
I ain't
Zimbabwe
Kirk Franklin scared
and
to call
every
the
country and
LGBT 'cause
nationality
he
in
fake.
between.
I was in Tokyo getting
I'm
them
here.
scriptures.
This is the Amazing Grace Sports Network. I am Clay Morris. I'm here with the inimitable savant, Kevin Kristian, who doesn't forget anything. That's a good thing and a bad thing sometimes. I tell you, he remembers.
So true. Not that I remember everything, but it could be a bad thing.
Could be a bad thing. Sometimes he doesn't like to let go. When he remembers something, he holds on to it. He'll remind you of what you said, 8 years and a day ago. Not that I've known him 8 years, but he's that good. Okay, we're going to open up with prayer. And my prayer is from, it's mirrored correctly. Prayers for victory in spiritual warfare, as you can see here. Prayers for victory in spiritual warfare. And it's a book by Tony Evans. And whether you are black, white, or anything else that you think you might be in between, no matter what type of human being you think you are in a spiritual battle, whether you know it or not. But if you want to win this battle, and as a result, by winning this battle, win almost every other battle that comes up in your life. Gee whiz, and I know about all those things. I used to have hair. But, you need to read this book, Prayers for Spiritual Victory. We are in Chapter 4, Section 1 as of today. And Chapter 4 is the authority of Christ. And this is a summary of that section. When Jesus Christ died on the cross, he made it possible for you to become complete in him and his rule and power, which extends over everything. In him, you have been made complete, and he is the head over all rule and authority. Understand this. No lack exists in Jesus Christ, and because he is complete, you can be complete through faith in him. In Jesus Christ, you have been set free from the invisible spiritual chains that have held you down, held you back, and negatively impacted your life. Your victory in and over life is rooted in the reality that everything is under the one who has made you complete in him. Amen. All right. I think we're ready to go with Today in History. Today in History. Yes, sir, Bob. Today in History is very special because today, March 29th, 2000, no, not even 2000, March 29th, 1929, the Boston Bruins, with players like Eddie Shore, Harry Oliver, Dick Clapper, Dutch Gaynor, and goaltender Tiny Thompson, who was actually a big guy, beat the New York Rangers 2-1. And of all places, Madison Square Garden. Yes, it's nothing better than beating a team on their own home ice. They defeated them, and that was their first championship. It was the best 2 out of 3, and the Bruins swept them with 2 games. So that was it. Now, my question is, that was the first one. My question to you, the listening and viewing audience, is what year did the Boston Bruins win their last Stanley Cup? Okay, and I'll let you guys figure that out. 844-249-5247, 844-249-5247 is our number. You can call us in with those answers or answer, and you can call us in at any time with whatever your thoughts are and opinions are on whatever sports we are talking about, and even the sports we aren't talking about. The second Today in History is on March 29th, 1973, Boston Celtic Dave Cowens won the NBA's Most Valuable Player Award. He averaged 21 points per game, 16 rebounds, and 4 assists. And Boston had the league best 68-14 record. I mean, to show you how good that is, today's Celtics, the present-day Celtics, aren't even going to come close to that record. Not even close. But as you know, ladies and gentlemen, we only count championships around here. So my question to you is, how many championships did Dave
Build your
Cowens
life
win?
upon the rock. It is a
Well, speaking about building your life upon the rock,
The gremlins are here in the studio.
how many championships did Dave Cowens win in his career with the Boston Celtics? That is the second question. And again, 844-249-5247, 844-249-5247. If you have one of the answers, okay? I think we're going to go right into a commercial here while we give you guys time to get that out and think about it. How about this? Ladies and gentlemen, how would you like to feel better, stand straighter, and enjoy daily activities without pain? Then look no further than Karma Don Yoga. As one of the more accomplished yoga instructors in the New England area, Karma embraces many different styles of yoga, including vinyasa, slow flow, yin, and restorative, in order to tap into your pranic energy and create a balanced mix of healing, stretch, and strength. Find her and her very affordable classes online at karmadonyoga.com. That's karma, like good karma, bad karma, dawn, like the morning dawn, yoga.com. We're not going to stop there. We're going to keep going. Yes. Yoga's good for you. And so is the steam. Hey, are you feeling a little achy or sore from the cold weather? Then take a visit to Dylan's Russian Steam Bath. At Dylan's Dry Sauna or Wet Steam Room, you can de-escalate, de-stress, and detox your body and mind. A hot place of massage or a variety of oil massages are available. You will enjoy the relaxed atmosphere that features a nutritious snack bar, large screen television, and comfortable lounge chairs to cool off in during your visit. They have two convenient locations, one in Chelsea and the other in Quincy. Find them online at Dylan's Russian Steam Bath or call 617-549-3484 for more information. To enjoy your best health, visit Dylan's Russian Steam Bath, where heat, steam, and water have a therapeutic effect. Wow.
Very nice. Great sponsors here of our show.
We have great sponsors. And, you know, you have to get a steam bath in, Kevin.
Yes, I have not had that luxury in
You're
my
going to love
young
it.
life yet.
You are going to love it. I am going to have to take you.
So what goes, you do yoga and then go to the steam bath?
Well, they're on separate days. But
Separate days,
you
not on the same day.
Not on the same day. I mean, you could because you're young. But me, it
Wow.
would take too much out of me. I have to be sparing with all my energy.
Well, we want to thank all our great sponsors here on the show who keep us going each and every Saturday morning right here.
Right here.
On WEZE. By the way, folks, if you're listening to us on the radio, there appears to be some issues here. So the stream is going just fine, but the radio perhaps not. So our technicians and engineers are working on that. But we're still live here on the stream. That's all right. This stuff happens. The wonders of live radio.
Oh, gosh.
But anyway, let's talk a little bit about March Madness quickly here as the Elite Eight kicks off tonight and tomorrow. Sweet 16 over and done with. And, well, if you rode the bandwagon like I did for St. John's, well, you're certainly off that bandwagon because that dream came to a crashing halt last week when we talked about the marquee matchup of this NCAA tournament between Arkansas and St. John's, Rick Pitino versus John Calipari. And once again, John Calipari has the upper hand of Rick Pitino with Arkansas as the number 10 seed, mind you, beating St. John's as the number 2 last week down in Providence, and in a good game. But nevertheless, you can never count out John Calipari, no matter what seed his team is. And Arkansas, of course, losing to Texas Tech in Sweet 16 this past week and not advancing. But regardless, that was sort of the marquee matchup. And my bracket still remains, well, not as strong as it did last week, as having St. John's to go to the final to end up losing to Houston. Houston had a squeaker yesterday evening in over in Indianapolis against Purdue. Yeah, that was a great game. But Clay, I was talking to you off air a little bit. I'm not sure how many games you watched here in the tournament, but I don't want to say that this tournament has been boring. There have been some close games. There have been some buzzer beaters, some wild finishes. But what we've been accustomed to in years prior is seeing some of these teams like a 12 seed, a 11 seed, even sometimes an 8-9 seed go as far as the Final Four. And
Not anymore.
we started to see as well in recent years number 16 seeds beat number 1 seeds in the first round, which is incredible. But this year is different as every year is, but we're not really seeing a lot of upsets this year. I think McNeese State at the 12 was the highest, the lowest seed who was an upset, or highest seed, however you want to look at it. But,
well, I'm gonna ask the question: why do you think that is, Kevin?
Well, I know what your opinion is on that, but if you want to go ahead and share that.
Okay, my opinion on it is that the NIL is killing the NCAA tournament. The top teams are able to get almost every player they want. The 16 seeds, the 12 seeds, the 8 seeds. They can't even get players that they want. I mean, that nobody wants now. So it's the bigger budget colleges and universities that are going to be able to afford the players that they want and get the best players in, which is going to kill the tournament. I have never been one of these fans of the NIL. I am totally in favor of athletes getting paid somehow, some way. But this NIL thing is just making everything ridiculous. And what we're seeing in the NCAA is the reason why you feel that it's not exciting. And it's not, because we don't have any type of...
Yeah, well, I'm just saying this year is not exciting.
It's not.
I mean, years prior has been exciting. I mean, we've seen teams that, shouldn't have been there advance pretty far. I remember like Loyola Chicago, teams even like San Diego State, teams that have advanced were not being predicted to advance and beating some powerhouse teams. But I think the NIL has certainly added a different element to the NCAA tournament.
What do you think?
Well, I don't really have much of an opinion on it as you do, but that's okay.
What is it? Older people just have more opinion. I mean, you young, savvy, intelligent.
You are starting to see players stay in college more than as opposed to like during the LeBron James era, where they don't even go to college. You go to high school. I mean, you're not seeing that anymore.
No?
Kids go right from high school to college.
But
you're starting to see kids, players. I say kids, and they're only a couple of years younger than I am, but still stay in college for maybe a year.
1 year, yeah, that's nothing. I mean, that's
1 year more than they're eligible.
Well,
but everybody's different.
Well, I would hope these guys would take college more seriously and what it can do for them after their careers, if they're going to have a career.
Well, they're playing basketball at a high level. Then I'm not going to say that. I mean, of course, we would hope their education is as important as their basketball career.
But there's only so many that are going to be stars, so that you would still should give some sort of consideration to what you're doing when you're going to college.
Sure,
I would hope that you do. It's going to last you a lot longer than your basketball career will. Right. So if you're in college, try to give it your best shot, and just don't look at it as a stepping stone to the NBA, because the NBA is a tough league. It's not promised, and anything could happen.
Well, the NIL certainly has, as I mentioned, has provided a different element to all phases of college ball, not just basketball, but football
too,
and other sports as well. So very interesting. We're seeing a lot of these college stars in all fields of the athletics sort of make their own brand off the field.
Why do they need to go to college?
That's good. That's a fair point.
I mean,
it's clearly not a money thing. It's not that I don't think they need the money.
This is a subject that we're going to have to deal with on its own.
Right.
This is so far reaching of what it's doing to college players, and we've heard making them arrogant, making them hard to deal with, making them uncommunicative when it comes to them coming to work out at your tryouts or your whatever you have when they're going to the pros. Yeah, I mean, with the guy's already making a couple $1 million a year before he becomes a pro. I mean, well, that's another subject, but
indeed it is. So the Elite Eight going on today and tomorrow. Number 3 Texas Tech taking on number 1 seed Florida. Number 2 Alabama taking on number 1 seed Duke tonight, 6 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock tonight down there where those games are being played in. Actually, I shouldn't say down there, over there in San Francisco. San Francisco hosting where the Warriors play, of course, Texas Tech in Florida. And then in New Jersey, at the Prudential Center tonight, it's Alabama and Duke. And then
Wow,
tomorrow,
that's gonna be a good game.
yeah, tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, number Tennessee, Houston. Tennessee, a big win over Kentucky. Kentucky beat Tennessee twice this year in SEC play. Tennessee avenging that last night. They'll play number 1 Houston, as Clay mentioned, beat Purdue in a squeaker last night.
Yeah.
That game will remain in Indiana for Houston, so back-to-back games for them. Number 2 Tennessee against number 1 Houston, and then number 2 Michigan State. Sparty hanging on. Tom Izzo hanging on against Ole Miss last night against number 1 Auburn, and Bruce Pearl, the local guy. That game played down in Atlanta, number 1 Auburn against number 2 Michigan State. So, Clay, all 4 number 1 seeds remain here in the Elite Eight, which is a pretty rare thing nowadays.
Not
in this
NIL,
in this
NIL anymore. It's not.
Well, I know. So, my team is Houston. I think I'm going to continue with my bracket, other than the fact that St. John's eliminated. But I say Houston Duke. That's my prediction.
Is there any way that it could be Duke in Michigan State?
I'd have to look at the
brackets.
The bracket.
Because that would be my pick. Tom Izzo.
Well, it can't be. So Auburn, the winner of Auburn, Michigan State plays the winner of Florida, Texas Tech. The winner of Duke, Alabama plays the winner of Houston, Tennessee. So actually, it can't be Duke and Houston. So let me rephrase. I'm going to say Houston against Tom Izzo and Michigan State. Give me that.
There we go.
Hey, so it can be Duke and Michigan State.
Yeah.
So it can be. And that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
For your final 2.
Duke and Michigan State.
Very good. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Two of the Titans in NCAA basketball.
Magic Johnson's alma mater.
Yes. Did you fill out the bracket? I asked you that. You didn't fill out the bracket, right? Because you don't care.
I do care. I care about everything. Even
I'm not saying you don't care. I'm just
squirrels
saying
and rabbits and things of that sort. I'm just joking.
What do you think about? Do you think college football should switch to the tournament style, 64-team college football playoff? Would that be something you would be invested in?
Not me. It's a lot of variations that you can go with as far as playoffs go. I'll let them figure it out. I'll let them think about it. Better heads than me are going to think about college football playoffs. So I'll let them have a go at it.
All right. Well, not an opinion on that then.
No opinion.
No opinion on that.
But we're going to move on.
That's fine.
We're going to move on.
I don't have much more to say on that.
844-249-5247. We're going to move on into what we used to have as well. It was Kevin's.
Well, hold on. Before we do that, let's talk to Wayne, who just called in. Wayne, good morning. Welcome on in.
Kevin, Clay, good morning. How are you guys today?
What you got for us, Wayne? I know this is going to be something that's not even close to what we're talking about.
So many stories, so little time. We saw 3 disqualifications in Formula One.
Really?
My 2 Ferraris got disqualified.
Gone.
And also, I just want to wish a speedy recovery to Miss Judy Watkins. And is it me or does anyone else get PTSD with the Michigan State? Because I've been having issues with them since 1979 against Indiana State.
Well, I decided if you can't beat them to join them. So now I'm kind of rooting for Michigan State to win it because they're a known entity. But yes, I've had my issue with Michigan State for a long time also.
Well, you can never count out Tom Izzo, Wayne, right?
This is true. So you're pulling a Kevin Durant. If you can't beat him, you're going to go to Golden State Warriors. Huh?
If you're going to beat, well, I guess that's one way of putting it. Yeah, I couldn't beat him. I'm just going to join them. I'm going to hop on the Michigan State bandwagon with Tom Izzo, knowing that my arch rival from the 1979, Magic Johnson, that's his alma mater, and they won a national championship with that team. Yes.
I fell in love with Larry Joe Bird back in that era. I can almost hear Dick Vitale talking about the 2 diaper dandies and Pettiford and Jace Anderson. It just feels like that old style March Madness all over again.
Well, I'm glad you feel it because Kevin is saying he doesn't feel it at all.
I didn't say. Well, first of all, that's way before my time, and so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know myself. And second of all, all I'm saying is, in years prior, we've seen a lot more upsets than we have seen this year, and that's true. Look at it on paper. I mean, we have seen teams from the 16 seed to the 8 seed, 7 seed, however you want to look at it. I mean, they have advanced over the 1, the 2, the 3. and we're not seeing that as much this year. The lowest seed right now is the number 3.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
So I think that's because of the transfer portal that's
YouTube,
kind of
yeah.
equalizing the playing field there.
Correct.
But I also want to shout out my cardiac kids up at Boston College for beating Bentley 3-1 yesterday.
In baseball?
No, hockey, the hockey team.
Oh yeah.
Right now, Bentley. Ryan Leonard finally got in the scoring tab.
college.
So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm all over.
You're all over the map,
Wayne.
Wayne. You didn't put your blinker on there.
I'm making illegal U-turns and
Yeah.
everything here. But I got one more thing before I leave.
Okay.
So is Jaden Daniels' mom going to put on a helmet and shoulder pads and be on the offensive line with him with what she did with Juju Watkins at her game?
Listen, she's been blocking. She's been blocking for Jaden Daniels for a long time, and she's going to continue to block because he is her cash cow. He's the son dad now. That's what it's become. We've seen this happen over and over and over again. It used to be in Hollywood where the Hollywood mom just became, just ran rough shot over the her daughter's career. Now we're seeing it in football with these mothers who, they don't have a husband, but they got a son husband that they're protecting, making sure that the money doesn't get away.
Mommy Dearest. Juju's probably more famous than he is, and that's a bad look for him in his locker room when he goes back to work in the fall, man. That's a bad look.
Well, we'll see what happens, but what can we say? Life goes on. Let's hope there's love in the cards somewhere for Jaden Daniels and Juju Smith.
But I'm rolling with Auburn all the way. Bruce Pearl, he's a local boy as well. But that Spartan teams gave me PTSD since '79. I've been trying to get back at them, so this is my year.
Just relax. If they manage to get through, just pretend it never happened. It's just a fairy tale.
Gentlemen, have a great day.
All right, thanks, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks.
Well,
so we're just going to talk about the Red Sox here. So why don't you start it off?
Yeah, let me get it. Yeah, this used to be called Kevin's segment, Kevin's Corner of the Bruins, but since we only cover winners, or at the very least franchises that actually want to win, it has been renamed to Kevin's Hot Sox Takes. So,
Not hot sauce, yeah.
Yeah, Hot Sox.
Yeah, hot stove.
Hot stove. Yeah, you get the message.
Bruins have lost 7 in a row.
Just get it out the way. Get it out of your system.
They went out west and they lost every game. So
okay. What about the Red Sox though? What do we got?
Go ahead. You wanted to start off. I know you've got a couple of thoughts. I know you're all on. You found the pitcher. You found the name.
I found the name. The Red Sox won their first game in dramatic fashion. The do damage guy was the player that I unequivocally stated that they should trade away to get a top line leader of the pack pitcher like Sandy Alcantara. The guy who did the damage was Willia Abreu. Yeah, that's right. That Willia Abreu. That I said they should leverage at this particular time. It was going to be the best time to leverage his Golden Glove and the amount of damage that he did last year as a rookie. Well, the foundation behind my process of thinking was to keep Roman Anthony, Kristian Campbell, and Marcelo Meyer. Keep these guys no matter what. I mean, wow, I think these guys are fantastic. Triplets, they're really great. And Abreu is a second-year guy, an up-and-comer, and he has that Golden Glove on his resume. Well, I thought things would never be higher for his trade value. I'm wrong. He's the only guy hitting on that team. He's the only guy. Everyone else is kind of like laying down and watching the balls. They're doing the Billy Buckner. Buckner. They're watching the ball go between their legs. They're doing anything but hitting. So William Abreu's been the other guy. So I'm not too sure, but I know I'm waffling. I'm going to say this. If you need to use somebody in order to make that trade for a top line number one pitcher, I would still use William Abreu. But if you don't have to, I would not. So I guess I left an open hole for myself somewhere in there that you don't have to trade him. But you got a log jam, and something's got to happen. But right now, ride the wave. I think they're a fantastic team. Let's see what happens.
So I wouldn't trade Willie Abreu. He's 25 years old. I think we haven't seen him enough yet, and I think in the small glimpses we have seen him, particularly most of last year and in 2 games so far this year, which, by the way, I know they're not hitting, but a little bit of an overreaction, but in 2 games in. But
5 hits?
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about other guys.
Those guys.
Other guys.
Yeah.
Talking about 1 game, 162 here. There's 160 games still to be played.
Still to be played.
So that being said, I don't think the Red Sox should rush in trading for Sandy Alcantara. I think he's a pitcher that the Miami Marlins obviously have, and a lot of teams would give up a good amount of talent and prospects for.
Yes.
So the Red Sox, one of them. Well, that remains to be seen. And I think we saw
they have the best prospects.
That's true, but we saw also in the offseason that the Red Sox did boost their pitching through a significant trade with Garrett Crochet. And so we'll see as time goes on if the Red Sox are serious about bringing in another top-line starter. You mentioned Sandy Alcantara. I'm sure there are other names out there. And if Willie Abreu is part of that discussion, then so be it. But, I mean, I'm fine with the Red Sox keeping him, and I understand the situation with Ron Anthony. With you have Campbell and you have Marcelo Meyer and you have a lot of prospects. And I've sat here on the show before and have stated you can't keep all of them. And we saw that with when trading Kyle Teal away with a great catching prospect to get Garrett Crochet, who had a great opening day start, very solid.
A little erratic,
and that was it was good to see, but still solid nonetheless. So I think we'll wait and see mode what happens with the Red Sox. I don't think they're in any rush to acquire. If you believe it's Sandy Alcantara,
do it now.
Well,
I mean, it's just
I don't see
out there.
I understand that. I just don't see the rush, and I believe, what we're seeing with Willie Abreu, if he's able to keep this up throughout the rest of the regular season. I mean, if the Red Sox consider trading him, they should throw in more than just Sandy Alcantara, by the way.
Yeah.
But because if I'm Craig Breslow, I'm asking for a lot. I'm asking for a lot more. I mean, he had 2 home runs in opening day. Of course, the pivotal game-winning 3-run home run to break the tie and get the Red Sox the lead. Eventually, they did win that game 5-2. Losing last night, on Friday night. Lose track of the days.
But
Friday night,
he had 2 more hits.
4-1, 2 more hits in that game. The real concern I have, Clay, is I told you that Dr. Kevin would come out and diagnose the problem here, and that is what the point of controversy for the Red Sox has been throughout spring training, and that's the issue with Rafael Devers. And Alex Cora coming out and saying that Rafael Devers, they sort of beat around the bush the entire spring training. They didn't know really what was going to go on. Of course, we saw Rafael Devers last year sat out the remaining month of the season the remaining couple last month of the season due to the shoulder injury. They had off-season shoulder surgery, obviously. Right. And Alex Cora coming out and finally saying what I knew to be true, and think a lot of people knew to be true, was that Rafael Devers is not going to play third base. Nope. He's going to be the primary designated hitter for the Red Sox. And by the way, he's not even going to play third base when Alex Bregman gets a day off.
Who is?
We have utility guys, Romy Gonzalez, David Hamilton type players that can play third base. So it's very interesting to me, the move Alex Cora is making here. I think it's in terms of, shoring up Rafael Devers. They've been talking about playing him at first, trying to improve his defense at third, which I think at times has been but I think he's proven himself to be an okay defender at third for the most part. But I think psychologically, Clay, for someone who is as young as Rafael Devers still is, by the way, even though he's been with the Red Sox in the MLB since 2017.
What's his age?
He's still a pretty. Is
he under 30?
Absolutely, he's under 30 years old. So still a relatively young guy here with the Red Sox, 28 years old. So getting up there, but still pretty young.
28's getting up there. You got a ways to go.
In this case,
anyway.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
So psychologically, I think it does that for you. So we're starting to see a little bit of that, I think, in the 2 games from Rafael Devers so far that he's playing with the Red Sox as DH. And 2 games, 8 at-bats, and 7 strikeouts.
0.
It's not been a good start for Rafael Devers. He didn't play much in spring training, obviously, due to the injury. And, obviously stated early on in spring training that third base is mine and that I'm, not sure who else can play there but me. And then he had to backtrack and said he'll do whatever helps the team. And obviously this case that Alex Cora believes that Rafael Devers should be the primary designated hitter. Alex Bregman was brought in to play third base.
Okay.
And so that's that.
Going into the future, what do you see? Do you see him coming out of this?
Well,
or
I mean, they just
a
signed him to a
continued-
massive extension, so I mean, I don't anticipate this being. I would hope this would not be a long-term problem for him. I mean, everybody starts off in slumps to begin the year. It's 2 games in. It's a total overreaction, in my opinion. But as the series with the Texas Rangers goes on, they go to Baltimore next before they come home. If this is a continual trend throughout the year, then I'll start to say, maybe there's something else going on here. But for now, it's something to watch. It's 2 games in, no contact at all. Not even a ground out, not even a fly out. It's been, except with the exception of 1, it's been 7 strikeouts. So we'll watch it. But listen, I support the move that Alex Cora has made. I believe Rafael Devers should be the primary designated hitter. You brought in Alex Bregman to play third base. Now the question is, we talked about logjam. You have utility guys, Romy Gonzalez, David Hamilton, Rob Refsnyder. Masataka Yoshida was put on the injured list to start the year. When he comes back, what do you do with him? That's a question that the Red Sox are going to have to ponder as well.
Trade bait
going forward. Well, I think the Red Sox have tried to trade Yoshida. The problem is they haven't had many takers due to the contract that he has. So anyway, game number 3 in Texas this afternoon on Saturday afternoon Saturday night. Tonight, 7:00.
They should play during the day.
See, I do get things wrong, Clay. By the way, I just want to put that out there.
A slight misstep. That's
so,
all.
looking forward to seeing Walker Buehler on the mound tonight as the new Red Sox, one of the pitchers that they have signed in the offseason this year. And as I said before here on the show, if Walker Buehler can replicate some of the prior success he's had with the Dodgers, excluding last year when he came back from injury, this guy's battled Tommy John surgery and he's back now and healthy, and let's hope he, A, continues to be healthy, and B, replicates some of the success he's had with the Dodgers. And if he does that, Clay, well, I think the Red Sox rotation, along with Crochet and Tanner Houck, was last night. I wasn't as strong, but
he's lost velocity on this fastball
just a little bit, and so we'll monitor that as well. But if these guys continue to pitch at a level that we expect them to, and I think they expect them to as well, we'll see what happens. But looking forward to seeing Walker Buehler tonight, and then of course. Game 4 of the series tomorrow afternoon on Sunday. Jacob deGrom on the mound for the Rangers, taking on Richard Fitz, who we've talked about here. Looking forward to see Richard Fitz.
I got a couple of observations
Go
that
ahead,
I want
please.
to get out while you're prepping for our next commercial. Okay. There's 160 games left. And my observations are Jared Duran is going to have a monster year. Kristian Campbell, this kid, his swing reminds me of Derek Jeter's. In fact, Campbell himself reminds me a lot of Derek Jeter. He's a big middle infielder. He's bigger than I thought. Bregman and Story will do damage. And Casas, he's a pretty good fielder, but Devers, and Rafaela need a wake-up call because right now they have no hits. They zero. Garrett Crochet has looked good. Arnaldo Chapman has looked great. Justin Slayer has looked good. Tanner Houck has looked, well, as my compadre here said, meh, at very best. My eyes tell me he's lost velocity of his fastball. Now, is there anything not to like about this team? I'm nitpicking on some of these things. No, this team looks very good. There's nothing really to carp or harp about concerning the Red Sox. I think they are on a dynamic destiny toward the World Series in 2025, and I'm all in on the ride, okay? And right now, the wagon is empty. But I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to get full quick. And when you call in, I want you to tell me, as we go on in the year, when you're getting on the wagon. It's 844-249-5247, 844-249-5247. I want to hear it as you climb on the wagon week by week that I'm already on and waiting for you guys. So that's it. That's all I got.
Well, let me ask you this question, Clay. Do you believe that Rafael Devers should play third when Bregman takes a day off, or do you think that Alex Cora's strategy of keeping him as a designated hitter is the right move?
I'm going with Alex Cora. He's the manager. He knows more about Devers and the situation than I ever will. I just hope that Devers eventually becomes comfortable and is able to get his swing back and, find himself in the DH role and wants to be there.
Right. Well, this is what Devers said. He says, only been 2 games, which is true.
Good.
He said, post-game, I feel comfortable at the plate. I feel good. I haven't hit the ball. That's true. But I feel very good. It's only been 2 games, and I think everything will change. And of course, he's adjusting to his full-time role as the full-time DH. And he said, I know that I haven't done my job so far, and I know I haven't done what I'm supposed to do, but I know everything will change. So, and by the way, he entered the 2025 season, Clay, with only 21 games of experience at designated hitter during his 8-year MLB career.
I think he'll be all right. I think he's a mentally tough kid. He's always persevered. So I think once he gets the hang of it, what he's doing, it's going to pay big dividends.
Right, I agree. Red Sox also placing Liam Hendriks on the injured list too with the elbow inflammation. So another player we haven't been able to see in the past 2 years the Red Sox have had on the roster, and he's dealt with so much, Clay, the veteran right-hander, from Tommy John surgery to cancer, dealing with that, and back on the injured list. So a lot of the Red Sox pitching staff and rotation as well on the shelf right now with Giolito, Brian Bayo, Cutter Crawford, and now Liam Hendriks as well. So.
Wow.
We'll
see what happens.
And of course Yoshida too.
I'm predicting big things for the Red Sox.
Well, we'll see. We got 160 games to go. We'll see what happens. Let's hope some of these offensive guys brush off the cobwebs and get going here and join their
tonight
compatriot Willie Abreu and providing some offense for Walker Buehler tonight down in Texas.
Willie Abreu.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We want to talk. We'll talk about the Celtics in a minute, but I do want to say hello to our friends at Oyama Investments, like our friends at Dillon's and Karma. They do keep us on the air every weekend. And we play last week, a little bit of a delay, me standing there.
We're coordinating this. We're getting, professionals like us.
Oh, good. If you're looking for a smart investment and, looking for a place to call home, welcome to Oyama Investments, where your dreams do find a foundation. And Oyama Investments, we're more than just real estate. They're your trusted partner in building a secure future. Whether you're investing in a property that will grow with you or purchasing a dream home, they make the process easy, transparent, and rewarding. Oyama Investments, they specialize in finding properties that align perfectly with your goals. Imagine a piece of the future, whether it's a luxury apartment, a commercial space, or a family home in the perfect neighborhood. And if you're new to the real estate investment world, well, don't worry. They're every step of the way, helping you make informed choices with confidence. With real estate prices rising, there's never been a better time to invest. Ready to see your dreams come to life? Visit OyamaInvestments.com. Give them a call today, 617-221-8881. Where your vision becomes reality. That's the good friends at Oyama Investments. Very nice.
Very good. Very good.
Anything else to the Red Sox, Clay, other than the fact that you're on the bandwagon to bring them to the World Series?
I think they're going.
I'm not saying I don't believe it, but I'm not ready to make that prediction.
We still have
at this very early point in time in the season.
We have at least 160 games before you have to make a decision. So don't worry about it, Kevin. It's okay. I'm just jumping on before anyone else does, so I can say I was there first. Basically, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. We got the Boston Celtics.
Indeed, we do. 4.5 back.
Let it go, but but there's only 9 games left in the season, even though they're 4.5 back.
We talked about this last week, the dilemma that the Celtics are in, with Cleveland starting to falter a little bit. They lost the other night to Detroit. Well, I know you're big on the Pistons.
No, boy. They've scored the most points of any team this year.
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons.
It's been quite an interesting storyline to see.
But Detroit, the Boston Celtics have the eye of the tiger. No Jaylen Brown, no problem. No Jrue Holiday, no problem. As long as Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, and Derek White are on the floor, this team finds a way to win. No, really. Look, of course, I'm saying I'm being a little bit humorous, but truthfully, this team has glue, okay? And with 2 weeks to go in the season, not even Hauser, Pritchard, Cornett, or White should see the floor. Save these guys, because these guys are really important to this team. Not just Brown and Tatum and Holiday and Porzingis, but these other glue guys, these other 4 guys. Matter of fact, the only bodies I want to see out there on the floor is Torrey Craig, J.D. Davidson,
yeah.
Miles Norris, Drew Peterson, Nemias Queta, Baylor Shireman, and Xavier Tillman, and Jordan Walsh. Yeah, Xavier Tillman. Where the heck has he been? Get him out there.
Well, I've talked about him before.
Yeah.
You know me on that.
We need these guys out there. Now it's time for them to earn their money. Peyton Pritchard should not be out there. He's already got the 6-man crown down. He doesn't need to make any more shots. We need him healthy for the playoffs. And I just named 9 guys. nine guys that are under contract. They can be used, and this way they're going to be ready for the playoffs if indeed you want to use them. But I also think this guy, Baylor Shireman, even though he's a rookie, this guy creates things. He makes things happen. He's in the right place at the right time. He makes steals. He's slow as heck like Larry Bird was, but he knows how to double back, hide behind bodies, make steals, make rebounds, make defensive plays. The guy needs he needs to be out there more.
Right.
And he's going to be the guy who needs to lead this pack.
Right.
The other game, when they were up by 30, he was a guy who kept his foot on the pedal, scoring, passing, assists. He was the guy out there doing all of that. When the team is up by 20 some odd points, a lot of these guys just get in there. They really don't want to try. They're just going through the motions, but not Shireman. Shireman was still pushing the pace, even though they were up by more than 20. That's the guy you need out there.
So you're suggesting that any of the starters, of course, we had Tatum that went down in that game against Portland.
Yeah.
And didn't play in the last game, a blowout against the Phoenix Suns down in Phoenix on Wednesday night, 132
Speaking of
to
Kevin
102. Yeah. The Red Sox. The Celtics have won 7 in a row, 9-1 in their last 10 games. They play this evening down in San Antonio. Celtics are by 12.5 in that game. And right now they're 4.5 behind the Cleveland Cavaliers. If they wanted to get the first seed, Cleveland losing, of course. They're 5-5 in the last 10 games. We've talked about starting to falter a little bit, but I mean, I think the Celtics, we've had them at the number 2 seed for the most, if not all, the year, really. And I think they're content where they are, and I think most fans are. But it's not. I mean, how many games left? 9.
9.
So the Knicks are.
Oh, the Knicks don't even worry.
8.5 back of the Celtics. So
yeah,
so assuming the Celtics lose out and the Knicks win out.
They still wouldn't catch them.
That's true. So, and of course, the Cavaliers and Celtics will wait to get the winners of the play-in tournaments. Right now, those 4 teams: the Atlanta Hawks, the Orlando Magic, the Chicago Bulls, and the Miami Heat, who are, of course, 9 games under 500, still get a chance to make the playoffs.
Miami's still
insane to me.
They can't lose enough. I would like to watch Miami just keep losing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Heat fans. That's just you know what it is.
Well, anyway, they took care of Jimmy Butler. When Jimmy Butler came back to Miami, they blew out the Warriors after losing like 10 games in a row. Yeah, it's quite interesting to see. But anyway, Celtics right now, of course, down in San Antonio. Not much to say in the Celtics. The fact that I think, I don't want to say slow the pace, but continue playing at the pace that they're comfortable at, and don't push the envelope too much. We've talked about the sort of made of glass injury style the Celtics have with many of their players, not just Kristaps Porzingis. It feels like every game you watch the Celtics, one of them has to leave because of some injury, but then they're back the next game.
Jaylen Brown, I'd rest him,
and they can't afford that in the playoffs. So,
what did I say? Drew Peterson, Miles Norris, J.D. Davidson, Torrey Craig, Nehemiah Case, Bayer Shireman, Xavier Tillman, Jordan Ross. Yeah, let those guys take the floor. What have you got to lose? I mean, they're getting needles and splinters in their butts.
I think as we start to move into April here in the final games here, I think we'll start to see them play a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure the Celtics lock up the number 2 seed. And I know they're 4.5 back, but I mean, if Cleveland really starts to fall and just loses out and just really collapses, then I could say, maybe the Celtics should make a final push here for the number 1 seed. But at what expense? I mean, any of those 4 teams that we just talked about, the Celtics will have no problem getting past. Atlanta, Orlando, Chicago, or Miami. And they'll play, of course, the higher seed out of that. I think the other interesting matchups in the Eastern Conference, at least, you'll have the Knicks right now slated to play the Milwaukee Bucks, 3 versus 6, and then the 4 or 5, which I think is going to be a fascinating matchup between Indiana and we've mentioned the Detroit Pistons. So I would favor Detroit right now.
I'm taking Detroit. Go Detroit.
Right.
And I would take Milwaukee.
I would take Milwaukee over the Knicks.
Over the Knicks.
Really?
Wow. I think Milwaukee's built for the playoffs.
Do you think Doc Rivers will return as coach next year?
Why not?
They haven't really gone up to real standard of what they're used to, at least with Giannis.
Well, Giannis is overrated. Damian Lillard has also been injured. Brook Lopez is a year older. They got rid of Middleton. So there's been some changes in that team. I don't think it's Doc Rivers' fault. I think everything rests with Giannis, and Giannis is not a leader. Giannis is a guy who thinks about me first, and to him, making the playoffs is really what he cares about. We'll see how far he can go. I don't think he can get past the Celtics no matter what anyway, because the Celtics are so far over him as far as being team players. That's one of the things that the Celtics have over. I was looking at the stats, and none of the Celtics are in the top 5 of anything. None of them. Not blocks, steals, points, but they have the best team in the NBA.
But here we are in 54 wins. I'll take that over leading stats.
And that's my point. The Celtics play an unselfish type of basketball. Unlike Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and even the guy that's down there, the point guard for the Knicks, needs to get off the ball. But because he's making X amount of money, he wants to be the star. He only wants to distribute the ball when he wants to. No, the ball has to move. In order for your team to flow freely and to have energy, the ball does not have a primary guy. It has to move to where the opening is. And the Celtics are the only team in the league right now besides Denver that takes advantage of that. Jokic takes advantage of that, which is why they're going to be dangerous in the playoff. And I expect them to come out of the West, no matter what OKC does in the regular season. I expect them to come out of the West. So we'll see what happens. But that's my take on the reason why the Celtics are so good.
Well, speaking about West, you mentioned Oklahoma City Thunder. They've locked up the conference already, and they're leading the number 2 Houston Rockets, 13.5 up on them. And so no chasing Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City going to.
What's the Lakers' record the last 10 games?
The Lakers are the 4 seed right now at 44-29. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games.
4-6 in the last game. What was all that ballyhoo and brouhaha about? Oh, now everything's going to change the balance of the West and X, Y, and Z and B, C, and E. And, oh, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. The only thing that's happened is that LeBron James has gotten to some argument with Stephen A. Smith, and they've gone 4-6 in the last 10 games. Nothing has changed. I don't expect too much is going to change in the playoffs either because they don't have any rebounding. It was LeBron's idea to put Luka with him. Well, we see more bizarre things happen in life. But this is what they want to talk about. This is what they want to say is going to be a winning formula. Doncic and James, I don't see it happening. They're 4-6. I think that proves me out.
Well, we'll see what happens as we get towards the playoffs here with the Lakers. But anyway, enough in the NBA in the final few minutes here of the show. We're going to talk a little about the NFL and the Patriots and some exciting news coming for the Patriots. They must have been listening to our program last week, Clay, and we talked about how they need more offensive weapons surrounding Drake May. And, well, one of them coming to play for the New England Patriots. And that is, of course, Stephon Diggs signing a 3-year contract with the New England Patriots, coming off a torn ACL with Houston Texans. Didn't do much in his only year with Houston, but Clay, if he's able to replicate his success, of course, with Minnesota and Buffalo, he'll be a great friend and target for Drake May to throw to.
Well, yes, if you could replicate what he did, but he's coming off a torn ACL.
Correct. Which is always difficult.
Yes.
No matter what position you're at, but particularly for a wide receiver.
Well, yeah, I know.
Interesting comment, though, because Stephon Diggs, who was quoted saying he's really excited to come to New England.
Yeah, he did say
and
that.
He said, when asked about playing with Drake May, he said, quote, "It's crazy because when you ask around, people say he acts a lot like Josh," meaning Josh Allen. And that was my guy, saying Stephon Diggs, who, of course, Stephon Diggs really had a great career for 3 years in Buffalo. And they formed one of the great duos with Allen and Diggs with 111 catches, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. And didn't do much, of course, with the Houston Texans. But saying we played May last year and he showed a lot of fight. Remember, Drake May came in against Houston in his debut. He had that fiery quarterback, I want to win mindset. So that's something I get excited and love to be around. So let's hope that this upgrade for wide receiver will help Drake May.
I think Drake May's a better quarterback than Josh Allen. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, Clay's king of the bold takes here this morning.
And I was going to fight with Owen about Josh Allen being better than Lamar Jackson, but I think Drake May's a better quarterback.
Owen must have bad service in his
better quarterback. He is a better quarterback. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs could have been much better.
I just don't think you compare them at this point, Clay. Drake May's entering in his second year. I mean,
I'm stepping
for you to compare them is a little off the reservation there.
He's got to be decisive. Got to be decisive. I'm stepping off, and I'm going to say that Drake May is a better throwing quarterback than Josh Allen.
So you like the and by the way, I shouldn't knock Stephon Diggs too much in Houston. He actually did have a pretty good season before he tore his ACL. He was on pace for his 7th straight 1,000-yard campaign, 47 receptions, 496 yards, 4 touchdowns. So
he was leading that locker room.
That just goes to show how much he didn't pay attention to the Houston Texans. But
he was leading that locker room with Nico Collins and
well, it's
Tank
true,
Dell.
and actually makes sense.
He was the guy making all the catches there until he went out injured.
And it makes sense too. I mean, once Stephon Diggs went down, we started to see the Houston Texans go down significantly. And if they didn't play in a better division, things would have been a lot different. I think
would have been dire.
Oh, for sure,
would have been dire
in the of course the AFC South. But so you like the move, but hoping that if you like it even more, if he is the Stephon Diggs of years prior.
If he's the Stephon Diggs of years prior, Drake May is going to look like the guy I predict. I think he's a great passer and thrower. He doesn't need to run the ball. He doesn't need to be a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson. Cut that stuff out. Okay. Of course, if everything breaks down, if they're not paying you any attention, yes, then run out there and do that. But other than that, be a thrower. And I think he's the best thrower of that class. Now, what was the class? It had the guy in Denver, him,
Bo Nix,
and then Caleb Williams,
right,
and Jaden Daniel. I think Drake May and Jaden Daniel are the class of that class. Actually, it's just Drake May needs a good coach. And needs an offensive line to show.
Which he has that, and of course they're rebuilding the offensive line as well. And now he has a couple more weapons to throw to, and we'll see what happens in the draft. But I think they needed a guy like Stephon Diggs, and my number one guy was Cooper Kupp. That didn't work out, and so here we are now. Hopefully, Stephon Diggs ready to come back from a torn ACL and continues what he's done with Minnesota, with Buffalo, and what he was going to do with Houston if he didn't go down with an injury.
Sometimes things work out for the best. Cooper Kupp, we'll see what happens, but. If Stephon Diggs comes back and is 90-95% of the play he was down there in Houston, watch out. Watch out, New England, because you need a guy who's going to go out there and demand the ball. Who do we have? Demario Douglas here now?
Demario Douglas, Kayshon Boutte.
They're all going to be taking a back seat to
Matt
a guy
Collins.
who's coming off an ACL because he's going to demand the ball.
But a guy who's been in these situations before, Clay, which you think says a lot.
Yeah, but a guy who wants to get out there and play. These guys are dropping passes. I mean, what do we have to hand it to them? Was an underhand pass in order for these guys to catch it? They're dropping passes like they're competing against each other. It's ridiculous.
Next week, Clay and I just can tell them this now. We're going to go through the schedule and make our early on predictions, see how many wins we can get to for the Patriots.
Oh,
so
Wow!
Mark that down, Clay.
I have them taking the East.
So we'll go through the games and see what we can get to early on. But anyway, in the last 2 or so minutes here of the show. A big signing that came out of the NFL, of course, this week. We know it well. One of Clay's favorite players. The New York Giants have their quarterback. I don't want to say a future franchise quarterback because he's not in that condition of his career. But nevertheless, they signed money. They gave him money, and they signed him to a contract. Russell Wilson has found a home. And no, it's not Cleveland. No, it's not back to Pittsburgh. No, it's not wherever. The New York Giants have him and Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito right now in their quarterback room. Just a minute or two on Russell Wilson.
Gosh, I don't know who can make more mistakes at this period of time. Is it the Cleveland Browns or is it the New York Giants? I mean, didn't they sign Daniel Jones to a humongous amount of money, only to cut him in the middle of the season, similar to Cleveland with Deshaun Watson? Neither one of these franchises know what they're doing. It couldn't happen to a more hated franchise as far as I'm concerned because of the 2 Super Bowls that they stole from the Patriots. Right. So let it happen. I am going to enjoy watching them implode over the year.
Russell Wilson saying he expects to be the Giants starter, but of course the Giants have not ruled out drafting a quarterback with the number 3 pick, whether that's Shedeur Sanders or if Ward doesn't fall, which I wouldn't expect him to fall to number 3, but if he does, we'll see. But regardless, he expects to be the starter. Of course, they did sign Jameis Winston as well, who we talked about last week. I was surprised when the Giants did sign Russell Wilson. I would have thought they would have had Winston and then signed a drafted quarterback, rather.
Right.
But
it's what you said to me.
Here they are, nonetheless, in Russell Wilson. So that remains that Aaron Rodgers still the quarterback that is not
Cleveland Browns.
Not either Cleveland, I would say, or probably Pittsburgh at this point.
Yeah, that both those. I don't know where these franchises are going. Once they used to be powerhouses, now they are powder puffs.
Indeed, it is so true. All right, Clay, about 30 seconds here left to go in the show. Turn over to you for the final final thoughts. We had a lot of great discussion today, and remind everybody to call as well. We love the calls too. We heard from Wayne today, but 844-249-5247, the number in here for shows prior.
Everybody,
in the future,
take care of yourselves and try to be the best people you can be. And more importantly, pray, go to church, and pray some more. Those are my parting words for the rest of the week.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be back with you next week. I'll be here in studio. No, Clay, you're going off, enjoying yourself. And
well, I have a wedding bash to go to. I will be not really here, but virtually in studio. But I'll virtually
be on
here.
the beach. Yeah. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Sunny Florida. I'm going to be in sunny Florida, everybody.
Watch those Red Sox.
Watch the Red Sox. Come on. Let's go Red Sox. Let's go Rafael Devers, Tristan Casas. Rafaela, get a hit.
Wake up.
Wake up, everybody.
April 2004 because I was